there is a use of this issue of demonstrations to fight against some political opponent. I want to ask Waziri, seen many young people in Kahawa being charged with terrorism. Of course, that is a case that is under court and cannot be discussed. But, Honorable Speaker, I want to ask, is he genuine to actually push for such enormous charges? Charges that we know, Honorable Speaker, are charged to people like Osama bin Laden.
You don't have to be Osama bin Laden to be a terrorist. It's enough, Mr. Speaker, once you invade a police station, ban a court, ban a supermarket, Mr. Speaker, ban government installation, create fear. Things are laughable until the day of conviction. You know, it's still jokes until, Mr. Speaker, when you are convicted of terror, then you realize the consequences that brings to you as a person and, Mr. Speaker, your loved ones.
How will you deal with the police officers that would shoot demonstrators when it is on record that none other than the President, yourself, and a high-ranking member of this House have actually given instructions, shoot on sight, to our police officers?
To Honorable Mbui, I am very conscious. As a lawyer, I'm very aware of my constitutional responsibilities, and I made sure that I put it in writing so that any citizen that wants to hold me accountable or before a court of law or parliament can pick the policy directive and quickly, Mr. Speaker, hold me to account.
Honorable Speaker, I'm one of those people that were arrested during Saba Saba. And Honorable Speaker, I was on my way, trying to make my way through Thika Road, and police officers, close to 40 of them, from nowhere came, arrested me without telling me exactly what I have done. They intimidated me, took me to a police station in Gatundu, and without even writing anything in the OB, Honorable Speaker, I was put in a cell alone. Anybody who came inside to ask whether I'm in that place, Honorable Speaker, was told I'm not around. And it's until around 7 p.m. when I heard people shouting outside that, Honorable Speaker, I shouted from the cell to say, Honorable Speaker, that I'm in that police station without knowing exactly what has been written. Honorable Speaker, I have listened to the CS. And Honorable Speaker, I feel sad because while a statement...
Ask him a question.
Yes, while a statement is talking of some sort of hard work he is doing, there is a use of this issue of demonstrations to fight against some political opponent. I want to ask Waziri whether, while he is giving statistics, and I have seen many young people in Kahawa being charged with terrorism. Of course, that is a case that is under court and cannot be discussed. But, Honorable Speaker, I want to ask, is he genuine to actually push for such enormous charges? Charges that we know, Honorable Speaker, are charged to people like Osama bin Laden, Honorable Speaker.
Osama bin Laden
was
never charged anywhere.
But he is a terrorist, we know that, and Al-Shabaab and other people.
We have no evidence.
Kahawa Law Court is known to be a special court.
Yes.
When you're taken there, Honorable Speaker, it means you are either being charged with terrorism or drug trafficking, Honorable Speaker. I want to ask Waziri to be genuine and make sure that while he is fighting on these matters to do with clear demonstrations and clean demonstrations, he is not using it against political opponents, and he is not being misused to fight political opponents.
Honorable Mukunji has raised an issue that is personal to him on a matter that is alive in court. Mr. Speaker, I am very restrained to say much because I am sure that Honorable Mukunji understands that I am not the judge, and he has a choice to either prosecute his case here in Parliament or prosecute it in a court of law. And therefore, opening a gun of worms can possibly, Mr. Speaker, prejudice the trial, which involves fair trial on his part. But suffice to note, Mr. Speaker, that the National Police Service do not arrest anyone for political reasons, because the IG is not a politician. Neither is the DCI a politician, nor the National Police Service is not a political party. So, Mr. Speaker, there is no political scores to be settled. Mr. Speaker, they just do their job independently and constitutionally to make sure that, Mr. Speaker, the people of Kenya are protected.
Is the minister in order to say policemen don't arrest politicians, while in last parliament it is clear and he's on record crying that he was being harassed by the regime then at that time, and that his people then were being harassed and arrested by policemen? Is he in order, Honorable Speaker?
The Cabinet Secretary is not here as a former senator. He is here in his capacity as the Cabinet Secretary. So, Mr. Speaker, and I'm not here to answer my own questions. I ask questions that are asked by the Cabinet Secretaries. Mr. Speaker, and so I am...
Leave history to history books.
Yes, so we've come through all that, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, just to use that opportunity, without really delving to the case of Honorable Mukunji, to remind the House that, Mr. Speaker, Prevention of Terrorism Act in section 3? Sorry, I had to Google because I was not prepared for it. Section 2, Mr. Speaker, on the part of definitions, define a terrorism act, Mr. Speaker, to be one, it says, means an act or a threat of action which involves the use of violence against a person, endangers the life of a person other than the person committing the action, creates a serious risk to the health and safety of the public or section of the public, result in serious damage to property, involves the use of firearm or explosives, involves the release of any dangerous, hazardous, toxic, or radioactive substance or microbial or other biological agent or toxin into the environment, interference with an electronic system resulting in the disruption of a provision of communication, financial, transport or other essential services, interference of and disrupt the provision of essential or emergent service, Mr. Speaker, like the medical case in Kitengela, interference or disrupt its provisions of essential or emergent services, prejudices national security or public safety. So, Mr. Speaker, it's in black and white. If your acts in any way involve use of force or violence, it is enough for you to be charged for terror. And, Mr. Speaker, you don't have to be Osama bin Laden to be a terrorist. It's enough, Mr. Speaker, once you invade a police station, ban a court, ban a supermarket, Mr. Speaker, ban government installation, create fear, use, Mr. Speaker, the opportunity you have to disrupt emergency services like medical services, transport, you are a terrorist. And so, Mr. Speaker, what's on remaining is to go through court process to find out whether Honorable Mukunji is culpable. Otherwise, the acts on their own, Mr. Speaker, especially financing, is even more serious, Mr. Speaker, if you are involved in it. And, Mr. Speaker, it is laughable. These things are laughable until the day of conviction. You know, it's still jokes until, Mr. Speaker, when you are convicted of terror, then you realize the consequences that brings to you as a person and, Mr. Speaker, your loved ones or any other person associated to you. So, Mr. Speaker, I wish my friend the very best. When I met him first when he came to Parliament, he looked like a pastor, Mr. Speaker. I was then surprised that he was suspected of such very serious and heinous acts. The Constitution and the law provides for instances of limitation of the right to life. And, Mr. Speaker, it's very clear from the Constitution and also from the law. I issued a directive to the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Speaker, my first of that kind, which is the directive, Mr. Speaker, I was trying to look for, which is a policy directive number 1 of 2015 on the use of force and the use of firearm. Mr. Speaker, in this directive, I made it clear in writing to reiterate what I I verbally pronounced when I was in Kikuyu, that police officers have a right to protect themselves when their lives are in danger, or when the life of any citizen of this country is in danger. Mr. Speaker, I also explained how they can use force, why they must not use excessive force where there is no danger to life. And I further also explained, Mr. Speaker, what measures we should take, National Police Service should take in this directive to the Inspector General of Police, which include, Mr. Speaker, deploying only officers that are mentally sound, that, Mr. Speaker, are not undergoing any stressful incidences or may have mental health challenges. I also said, Mr. Speaker, protective gear must be given to police officers. Further, I also explained that it is necessary for the National Police Service working together with the Attorney General to ensure that they protect police officers who may be sued or investigated, Mr. Speaker, as a result of protecting themselves or protecting their lives. Mr. Speaker, we have commenced that process, and all the police officers who are facing investigations and were charged for using force or firearm while they were performing their lawful duties, Mr. Speaker, now have a right to be represented by the Attorney General or lawyers from the National Police Service. Mr. Speaker, therefore, I made the statement consciously, knowing that the responsibility to hold police officers accountable is with the IPOA, and this is the ministry that has a policy responsibility to ensure that police officers are responsible. In our Jukwaa la Usalama forum, where we have been meeting all the OCSs in every county, and the sub-county commanders and the county commanders and county security teams, I have also made it clear that the police officers should be respectful to the people of Kenya, should not apply excessive force, and they should protect themselves, Mr. Speaker, when their lives are in danger.
Provide details on the state of security in this country, including steps being taken by the ministry to avert death and destruction of property, especially during demonstrations. Number two, to outline actions being taken to forestall the destruction of property and death during demonstrations. And three, indicate when the government will apprehend the culprit or culprits responsible for financing and mobilizing of demonstrations that led to deaths and destruction of property, especially on the 25th of June 2025 and the 7th of July 2025.
Honorable Speaker, since last year, the country has witnessed a series of protests across various counties following calls for anti-finance bill demonstrations, which culminated in the protests of the 25th June 2024 and resulted in unfortunate fatalities and destruction of property. In 2025, despite a general return to normalcy, political actors renewed online mobilization efforts calling for fresh demonstrations. Mobilizations was largely conducted through social media platforms using hashtags, Mr. Speaker, such as Occupy State House, Occupy Everywhere, Syrian in numbers, 77 in numbers, among others. Despite advice by police commanders, no prior notification was submitted to the police by the organizers as required by law. Consequently, the National Police Service only became aware of the planned protest through media, prompting the police to prepare the necessary security plans to maintain public safety and restore order. In other cases, some organizers assured security agencies that the demonstration would be peaceful. However, Mr. Speaker, contrary to these utterances and assurances, the protests quickly escalated into chaos and violence, culminating in incidences of looting, arson, and widespread destruction of public and private property. The protests were further characterized by widespread acts of lawlessness, which led to torching of 9 police stations and posts, Deputy County Commissioner's office, and court buildings. In addition, numerous supermarkets and private business premises were vandalized and looted, resulting in significant economic losses and disruption of essential services. In particular, Mr. Speaker, during Saba Saba, demonstrations and 25 lives were lost, with 45 civilians and 170 police officers injured. Key among the government offices and premises that were damaged in the 2 demonstrations include the Assistant Chief's Office, Molo Ward Administrator Office, and Molo Railway Station, Nakuru County, Office of the Women Representative in Kisii County, NCPB, SAC, Sagana administration block. And on 25th June, Mr. Speaker, we regrettably lost lives, and close to 600 others were injured, including 496 law enforcement officers. Public facilities also bore the brunt of the destruction, including Dagoretti Police Post, where the criminals stole guns and razed residential buildings housing the police families. In Kikuyu, a mob attacked government offices, torching Kikuyu Police Station, the sub-county headquarters, National Registration Bureau offices, county government offices, Assistant Chief's office, the Kenya Forest Service office, Kikuyu Law Courts, as well as Dagoretti Police Post and police lines. They also partially destroyed the Kikuyu Sub-County Probation Office and damaged 4 motor vehicles belonging to Dagoretti Police Post, including that of other officer in charge. Other property destroyed in the Dagoretti Police Post, Mr. Speaker, includes 3 Probox vehicles, 1 double cabin, county government vehicle, a school bus, and 14-seater matatu that were parked within the police station. 5 guns were also stolen in Dagoretti Police Post, as I said. Another 4 firearms were burned in Gashui Police Post. One of the guns stolen in Dagoretti on 25th of June was used to commit robbery in Naivasha the following day. Further, on June 25th, a rowdy group of youth attacked Matu Police Station, leaving 8 officers injured and several government vehicles damaged. The building housing the station was also destroyed. 18 suspects were charged in connection with this particular attack. In Machakos County, Mr. Speaker, 66 suspects linked to the torching of a gas tanker along Kitui Road on 7th July were arrested and charged. In another attack, arsonists invaded and burned Olkalau Police Station along, Mr. Speaker, killing 3 suspects who were in custody. They also torched 26 vehicles, 18 county government motorbikes, burned down an exhibit store, and destroyed a reporting office. In Nakuru County, Mr. Speaker, Viwandani patrol base in Naivasha was burnt while firearm loaded with 20 rounds of ammunition was snatched by criminals at Shauri Moyo. Several other security installations across the country were attacked, leaving citizens exposed. A total of 16 police stations and posts were either burned or destroyed, and on the 2 days of terror. In Naivasha, Nakuru County, goons looted stock from Naivas, Power Star, and Ketia Supermarket, and thereafter set ablaze Power Star Supermarket. A total of 100 people were arrested and charged with various crimes in relation to these acts of criminality. In Ruiru, Mr. Speaker, within Kiambu County, a similar fate befell Quickmart and Carrefour supermarkets, where goons stole property worth millions of shillings after breaking windows and destroying CCTV cameras in the establishments. A total of 86 arrests were made in relation to the crimes committed on various charges were preferred. Naivas supermarket within Nyeri town was also broken into, and goods worth millions of shillings carted away. 21 suspects have been arrested in connection with this crime. On the same day, a group of rioters invaded Mountain Mall within Kasarani area in Nairobi County, where they looted goods from Naivas supermarket and other shops and the mall. 3 suspects were arrested and arraigned accordingly. At Kidurai 44 area, another set of criminals invaded Kismat supermarket. In Eldoret, goons broke into Ketia supermarket and stole goods worth millions of shillings. 12 suspects were arrested and arraigned in court. In Meru, a group of thugs set ablaze Muguna supermarket using suspected petrol bombs. The criminal elements also stole alcoholic drinks from 7-Eleven bar. Selenite supermarket was not spared the looting and mayhem. 40 suspects were arrested in Meru in relation with these criminal acts. In Kirinyaga County, 21 suspects linked to the looting at Nice supermarket in Muya town were arraigned. Gangs also torched the Kirinyaga Central NGCDF office, leading to the arrest and arraignment of 4 suspects. In Kikumbo town, mobs broke into county supermarket and stole goods worth millions of shillings. 2 suspects were arrested and arraigned in connection with this incident. In another incident, Mr. Speaker, marauding gangs stormed the operating theater of the Kitengela Sub-County Hospital, interrupting an emergency cesarean section and terrorizing patients and medical staff. 2 suspects were arrested and arraigned in court. Evidently, all these events were well orchestrated and coordinated by certain actors with the intention of inciting unrest, destabilizing public order, and undermining national stability. In light of this evolving landscape of demonstrations, and more so the violent nature of the protests that proved to be a threat to national security, the National Police Service being constitutionally mandated to enforce law and order, Mr. Speaker, responded by implementing measures to forestall violence and violence and damage to property. The role of police in managing demonstrations is guided by the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, the Public Order Act, Cap 56, and the National Police Service Act of 2011. Article 37 of the Constitution of Kenya provided everyone has a right to assemble, to demonstrate, picket, present petition to public authorities, peaceful and unarmed. However, this right is not absolute and is subject to limitations provided for under Article 24 of the Constitution, which permits reasonable and justifiable limitation in a democratic society, e.g. to protect public order, public safety, and rights of others. The Public Order Act also provides the same, Mr. Speaker. And I have reproduced, Mr. Speaker, at length the various provisions of the Public Order Act, and I don't wish to read any further. The statement will be circulated, Mr. Speaker, which includes what of importance is the members of public are required to provide and present a notification to police officers at least 3 days before any such demonstrations. Mr. Speaker, at least 3 days, but not more than 14 days before the event. And Mr. Speaker, that must be in writing, who is coming to protest, the names, the estimated number, the routes, and so forth, Mr. Speaker. And the police may acknowledge the same, and this is not done so that we can give the right to demonstrations, basically to ensure that the police officers are prepared to provide security during such demonstrations. So on part 2 of the question, Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Member would like to know on the actions being taken to forestall the destruction of property and death during demonstrations. And Mr. Speaker, the Ministry remains steadfast in this commitment to safeguard lives and property during demonstrations through the following measures. Number 1, intensified both mobile and foot patrols in targeted areas to enhance visibility, deter criminal elements, and detect early signs of unrest. 2, intensified efforts to lobby for more budgetary allocation from the National Treasury to meet its logistical and operational requirements, hence rapid deployment capabilities during demonstrations. Number 3, embraced modern policing technologies such as CCTV surveillance, drone monitoring, digital communication systems, and incident mapping tools to monitor crowds, track threats in a real time, and coordinate timely intervention, ultimately enhancing the effectiveness of law enforcement during protests. 4, leverage on real-time intelligence, informer networks, and surveillance tools to identify planned disturbance and criminal elements before they mobilize. 5, engage with community leaders, civil society, and Nyumba Kumi clusters to help gather early warning information and promote peaceful resolution before protests escalate. And finally, Mr. Speaker, issue advanced public advisories and engage through media to encourage peaceful demonstrations and warn against unlawful activities. Mr. Speaker, in addition to that, as a deterrent measure, also prosecuting, arresting and prosecuting perpetrators in good time is extremely important in forestalling a repeat of same incidences. The next part is the Honourable Member would like to know when the government will apprehend the culprits responsible for financing and mobilizing during demonstrations that led to the destruction of property. And July 7th this year. Mr. Speaker, the National Police Service initiated investigations into a range of offences committed during the recent demonstrations. The investigations aim to identify individuals who loss of lives and injuries to civilians and police officers. In the course of these investigations, the service has obtained several financial statements and data linked to persons of interest, which are currently undergoing forensic analysis. Additionally, information relating to the registration particulars of companies non-governmental organizations, and societies believed to have played roles, and non-governmental organizations and societies which are believed to have played a role in facilitating the protest has been acquired. The National Police Service is working in close collaboration with various government agencies and stakeholders to expedite investigations. These include the National Transport and Safety Authority, the National Registration Bureau, the Communication Authority, the National Intelligence Service, the Registrar of Companies, the Financial Reporting Center. So far, preliminary analysis of this evidence gathered have led to the identification of several persons of interest believed to have participated in illegal acts during demonstration and those linked to the funding and mobilization of the demonstrators. About 1,500 people have been arrested countrywide and are facing various charges including terrorism, murder, robbery with violence, sexual assault, arson, malicious damage to property, and targeted attacks on strategic infrastructure. The police have also arrested and arraigned 15 individuals across the country associated with the planning and mobilization and have since been charged with various offenses, including offenses under the Prevention of Terrorism Act, unlawful assembly, participation in unauthorized demonstrations, incitement to violence, organizing unlawful protest, destruction of public property, arson, malicious damage to property, aiding and abetting unlawful acts, unlawful possession of ammunition, unlawful possession of tear gas canisters. Investigation to identify additional financiers and mobilizers of the protest and arraign them before the court are ongoing. I submit, Mr. Speaker.